All right, staying on with Twitter. So I don't know if this is going to, Donald Trump, imagine Donald Trump being able to tweet in more than 140 characters, because that is what is up for grabs here. Twitter has said that they're building a new feature that will allow users to share up to 10,000 characters. This is first reported by the tech website Recode. The new option may launch later this quarter. Here with me is Seth Figgerman. He is a senior business reporter from Mashable. Thanks for being here, Seth.
Thanks for having me.
So this is, if this turns out to be legit, this is astounding that Twitter would go from 140 characters, which they've always said was part of their DNA, to allowing people to tweet 10,000 characters. How would it work?
Well, I think this definitely represents a company that's moving away from its core principles a little bit here, but that said, they are hacking this a little bit. So presumably, from what the reports say, you would still only see the first 140 characters when you're scrolling through your feed, but then you would click to expand it and you'd see all this other text.
But I feel like people kind of already do that. I haven't actually figured out how to do that, but I feel like people
I've
seen. Yeah, you'll have to teach me in the commercial break, because I feel like people have like, I don't know if it's a screen grab or if it's a picture or a JPEG, but I've sometimes clicked on a tweet and it has expanded. Sure. So how does that work? So
there have been a few third-party tools. TwitLonger is one to do this. Also, people often do screenshots of text if they want to quote. So now you could just presumably do that without leaving the platform. So you might see more people take advantage of that option. Whether or not this represents a sea change in terms of user interest, we don't know.
So we actually have a shot of what this would look like on this camera. Let's see if we can look at it now. So this is... Can you imagine Donald Trump like tweeting out like 10,000 characters?
It might be a national security issue.
Yeah, exactly. Or the producer that he uses to tweet out his stuff. So I guess the question is, and it's kind of interesting from a technology company standpoint, Twitter has always looked to differentiate itself from Facebook.
Sure.
And in fact, I think one of the reasons that people enjoy Twitter, and to a lesser extent Instagram, is because it's not just a lot of verbiage that you see like on Facebook. So why go this route?
You know, I think the bet here is that they have gotten all of the users who like the way Twitter already is. They've gotten 300 million users, respectable by almost any standard but what Twitter wants to have. So now, if we take a little bit of what makes it easier for people on Facebook, people on Tumblr, maybe it'll attract some of the people who've tried Twitter, given up, get them to come back. Some would call that, you know, the height of desperation.
Yeah.
But here, I don't know. I think it's fair to say that as long as they maintain the same diversity of points, the same velocity of stories, it doesn't really matter whether you click or don't click for a lot more text.
I just sort of think that, and I know that the reaction on Twitter has been massive, right? I mean, there's been a huge reaction to this on social media, but I feel like it's almost in a way has cut through a lot of the noise that even the noise that you might see on television, in that you're only going to deliver 140 characters, so you're going to make your point, right? And like, so what have you seen on Twitter as far as the reaction?
You know, I think there's nothing Twitter users like more than to criticize Twitter itself. And you know, the silver lining here is that now they have more space to do that with per tweet. So we'll probably see a lot more of that. But no, to your point, I think people generally feel like this is a company that isn't really sure what it wants to be or what it needs to be. And so they'll upend every single thing they have, frustrating loyal users along the way in the hope of getting a few more people who've tried it to come back.
You raise an interesting question. Will that spook anybody looking to invest in Twitter, the fact that they may not be on stable footing in terms of what they want to do, as you point out?
I think what will spook Twitter investors is if they do all of this and they don't budge growth at all. And that's what we'll see in the next 6 months to a year.
All right, to be continued. Seth Figgerman, thank you so much from Mashable. Appreciate it.
Yeah.